lay uyu borom jasna pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality jasna your number one stop shop. Ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality jasna amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi. Ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality jasna amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg. dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality jasna ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi. make up artist yi bàyyi ngeen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay make up product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality jasna si 250 01 24 ak quality jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it dëggal sa alaaji aas.
Spokesperson and Presidential Diaspora Advisor, Brian Sankare. I'm going to moderate this second edition of the annual end-of-year presentation of the new Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, who is our host, Honorable Minister Youth, Minister of Trade, deputizing His Excellency the Vice President, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Minister of Information, apologies in no specific orders, just coming spontaneously. Also Minister of Public Service, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, indefatigable Professor, Minister of Higher Education. Apologies for skipping, but thank you very much. This innovation is not possible without the participation of your ministry. Thank you all for coming. Before proceeding, I would like to invite the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, P.S. Kamara, to give you welcoming remarks. P.S.
Deputy Spokesperson, standing for the spokesperson of the government. First of all, I want to start by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning to you all. I want to start by recognizing the man of the day, our Honorable Minister, Honorable Usman Ega, and his colleague ministers here present with him, and the Honorable Minister of Trade representing the Vice President, the Deputy Speaker of the House of the National Assembly, my colleague PSs, Directors General, MDs and CEOs here present, the media, ladies and gentlemen. We are Nordi. Very happy to host you to this media event showcasing our achievements in 2023. It was not an easy year for us as a new ministry being created. We have to continue the ongoing activities of the sector, which has been existing, while identifying our recruitment needs and recruiting to optimize our capacity for effective and efficient service delivery. We have presented on average one cabinet paper every month, which culminated into 15 policies build strategies and plans that will help us realize our digital transformation agenda in line with our national, regional, and global objectives. This may look a lot, but we intend to replicate same or better achievements in 2024. We are always desirous of collaborating and cooperating with our partners and stakeholders, both within and outside our beloved country. This has resulted in signing bilateral cooperation agreements and also galvanized support from our multilateral donors. Of course, with the support of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Public Services, and other ministries. We shall continue to nurture this collaboration, formulate new policies, laws, and regulations to foster the development of a vibrant digital economy. To this end, leveraging the potentials of fintech and making use of the talent pool from diaspora Gambians will be vigorously pursued. Honorable Ministers, Deputy Speaker, distinguished participants, all these achievements did not come easy. It was the result of hard work, teamwork, dedication, and commitment. We have to do a lot of follow-ups and pushing to realize these achievements. And at this juncture, I also want to recognize the support of the President and the Office of the President in helping us realize some of these achievements. And as our Honorable Minister would say, follow up like a bill collector in order to make things happen. So we are all being bill collectors and taking follow up to realize these objectives. At this juncture, I want to thank all my staff for their great efforts put in 2023. They've been exceptional and phenomenal. Also, I want to thank the Honorable Minister for being there with the team and pushing the bar to realize this success. The Honorable will give us a target. We meet the target, we said, now we do more, we'll extend. We started with 9 cabinet papers, and then we met, he said, no, 12. We met, he said, no, we can do 15. The year hasn't ended. But I think because of that, we've managed to reach these 15 cabinet papers. That will be the result of this achievement. And my team has been phenomenal, and they've been rising to the occasion to make us realize these objectives. Before I conclude, I want to extend special thanks to our line agencies and sector operators, especially the people who have been very instrumental in our work and have put significant contributions in the regulations we've passed. We've also had significant collaboration from the sector players. We culminated in the reduction of data charges in the year 2023. Our Ps, GAMCHAL, GAMCEL, GAMPOS, DGL, they've all been very supportive of our process and delivering their objectives as they've been tasked to do. And they continue to work with the ministry hand in glove. On that note, my job is to welcome you. I just wanted to give you these hints. So I want to welcome you all to this media briefing by the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. And I leave you in good hands of the Master of Ceremony, the spokesperson. And I thank you all for your kind attention.
Tradition is going to be good guidance this time we celebrate them. P.S. Kamara is a veteran of the public service, a technocrat to the core. Whenever I think of the ACE cable project, my mind is going into the program. We have some modifications, but we'll have our partner ministries to come, as well as the digital transformation is cross-cutting. I cut across all sectors. We are talking about e-governance, and the Gambia has been working in line with the continental frameworks like the digital transformation strategy for Africa, which is to make African citizens enlightened and responsible e-citizens. And luckily at the ministry, we have an e-governance directive here too. So which means that our government, under the leadership of President Adama Barrow, is at par with the global trajectories in terms of making sure that citizens enjoy digital dividend. Thank you very much.
I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Information, a veteran in politics. Thank you very much for being with us, and then he can give us some historic anecdotes. That's what African elders do, with a lot of anecdotes, wisdom about our cultural tradition, and how we can adapt to those.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Ministers, namely the Honorable Minister of Digital Economy, Communications and Digital Economy, Trade, Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, and the rest of the members of the High Table, including permanent secretaries at MOPD and Public Service, senior functionaries of the state present, distinguished guests, respected members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Permit me to salute each one of you in your respective individual and collective capacities with the salutation of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. I am honored and privileged to stand before you today at this momentous occasion where we come together to reflect on the remarkable achievements of the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, MOPD, for the year ending 2023. My sincere gratitude goes to the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, in particular, for extending this invitation. And I'm equally grateful to the visionary and exemplary leadership of His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, for the reorganization of our two ministries from the former single Ministry of Communications and Infrastructure, Information and Communication Infrastructure. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you may recall, in 2022, we witnessed a pivotal moment in our nation's development with the decoupling of the former Ministry of Information and Communications Infrastructure into two distinct entities, namely the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy and the Ministry of Information. This strategic move, being the brainchild of His Excellency the President, underscores the commitment to specialization and focuses on the target for the optimal development of both sectors. The creation of the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy acknowledges the critical role that ICT and the digital economy play in driving national progress and development. This sector is therefore not merely a facilitator of communication, but a transformative force that propels our country into the new era of innovation, efficiency, and global competitiveness. The benefits it brings to our citizens and residents alike are vast, from economic empowerment to enhance public services and increase access to information by providing the underlying technology for information dissemination and content broadcasting. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I must take this opportunity to applaud the collaborative efforts between our two ministries. The joint development of the draft data protection and privacy bill is a testament to the commitment to safeguarding our citizens' rights in the information and digital age. Once enacted, the bill will be entrusted the Invested Access to Information Commission under my ministry, ensuring a comprehensive approach to data protection and privacy while safeguarding critical information. While the Ministry of Information oversees public information, through the media and the broadcasting sectors, we recognize, appreciate, and look forward to the integral role to be played by the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy in driving the technology landscape forward. Both ministries, though distinct in their responsibilities, must forge a robust partnership to maximize the potentials of our nation's information and communication infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the achievements of the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, let us also underscore the importance of collaborative efforts within and among ministries, departments, and agencies of the government. Together, we can create a synergistic approach to national development, ensuring that each sector contributes to the overall prosperity of our beloved nation through effective partnership as integral parts of one unified system. To this end, and before I conclude, I extend my sincere congratulations to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy on their accomplishment in 2023, as already alluded to by the peers. May this celebration therefore mark the continuation of a new era of collaboration and shared success between our ministries, fostering stronger, more connected, and prosperous nation, the Gambia, our home. And I thank you for your attention.
Honorable Minister of Information. The media can assist, so we can have some space here to be able to place notes. I think you highlighted two important top issues, which are also part of my subject as an African Union Media Fellow. The nexus between privacy protection and access to information. Section 23 of our Gambian Constitution guarantees privacy protection, and government is aware of that and is taking that very, very importantly in all our planning. So the new bill that is coming up will capture everyone, and there's going to be a balance between privacy protection and access to information, and we implore our fellow citizens and compatriots to equally respect privacy of their fellow citizens. It's important. Government will follow the rule, government will create parameters, but at the end of the day, we have to make sure that the digital space is safe and then mutually beneficial for all. Thank you very much for the support. I would like to invite the Deputy the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Public Service and Delivery, Honorable Patija, deputizing the Honorable Minister to give a statement. Yes.
Honorable Ministers here present, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Permanent Secretaries, Heads of Departments, Senior Government Officials here present, distinguished guests, members of the media, fellow citizens, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. May I first begin by registering the apology of the Honorable Minister of Public Service for not being able to grace this occasion, and as a result, he has asked me to deliver a statement on his behalf, and his statement reads in quote, "I thank you for being here as we gather to celebrate and showcase the achievements of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy for the year 2023. I am honored to be invited by the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy and as well to stand before you to address the significant strides we have made through our partnership with MOGDI and to emphasize the importance of collaboration between the digital sector and the public service. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before going further, please kindly allow me to thank the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow, as this day could only be possible because of his foresight, visionary and exemplary leadership by creating the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy and the Ministry of Public Service, with the wisdom that it is through technology and digital transformation that we can leapfrog and achieve inclusive, sustainable, and socio-economic growth and development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our journey towards a more digitally empowered public service has been marked by collaboration, innovation, and a shared commitment to modernizing the way we serve the people of the Gambia. The collaboration between the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy and the Ministry of Public Service has been instrumental in driving positive change. And today I am pleased to highlight some key achievements that underscore the impact of our joint efforts. One of the remarkable initiatives that have had a profound effect on the civil service is the provision of wireless broadband connectivity to government officials through the MOGDI LTE network. This strategic move has not only enhanced connectivity, but has also empowered officials to work efficiently from their homes or on mobile using the LTE mobile dongles allocated to them by MOGDI. This has alleviated the burden on the Ministry of Public Service to invest more on connectivity infrastructure, allowing us to focus on other critical aspects of public administration. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, furthermore, our collaboration extends to the ongoing implementation of the MyGov single window service portal, made possible through support from the Bangladeshi government. This portal, once completed, would be a testament to the commitment of both ministries to streamline government services by providing a unified platform for citizens to access various government services, coupled with the needed training to be provided to civil servants and as well citizens to ensure that they will be well equipped to utilize this portal effectively, fostering a more efficient and responsive public service. Additionally, MOGDI and Ministry of Public Service are at the forefront of implementing the government email policy, a crucial step towards standardizing and securing email communication within government. This collaborative effort is a clear indication of our commitment to embracing modernization and digital transformation in every facet of public service. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the media and fellow citizens, the collaboration between the digital sector and the public service overseen by MOCD and the Ministry of Public Service is not just about achieving technological milestones. It is about creating a synergistic relationship that enhances the overall efficiency of government. Working together hand in hand will allow us to lay the foundation for a more responsive, transparent, and citizen-centric public service. As we move forward, I encourage both ministries to continue fostering this collaborative spirit, recognizing that our collective efforts are pivotal in achieving the broader goals of national development. Together, we can build a resilient and digitally advanced public service that meets the evolving needs of the Gambians. To conclude, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to my colleague Minister Honorable Usman Eba and team for the unprecedented achievements registered in 2023, and to extend my gratitude to the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy for their unwavering support, collaboration, and partnership. Let us continue to work together, leveraging the power of technology to propel the Gambia into a new era of progress and prosperity. End of quote. I thank you for your kind attention.
I have good experience with PSG. It's a very meticulous, technocrat, I remember. So in 2017, when I visited his office, he gave me some information, which was very helpful. And I said, whenever I see him, I remember that moment, that, he understood it's much for highlighting. And when the President, Adama Barrow, created the Digital Economy Ministry and the Ministry of Public Service, respectively, as the government spokesperson, the mouthpiece of we get a lot of reaction. People were wondering why they did that. It's going to be bloated, a small country having more additional portfolio. But look, going forward, we see that Gambians are getting value for money, and because creating these new specialized entities frees up human capital, creates space, for more specialization and more collaboration. We've seen it, and going through what Honorable Minister Pateja, the outsider might not know what has public service to do with digital economy. But I can see the similarity within India and also Estonia. So PS, I hope that you will be at par with India very soon. Looking at especially at this hard number and need governance. I could see those ones, in the presentation of another transformative sector. Education is very important, especially higher education. And we have a veteran among us, Professor Pierre Gomez, who was in part of the university academia, grew through the ranks. He was there when the university was still crowded, accompanying the whole process until where it is now, and the university is moving into its Farawa campus. And I'm impressed that, he stayed behind and fight, because as an academic, PhD, the whole world at your disposal. But you chose to stay in those difficult days when the university was there with minimal resources. Stayed, and I'm glad that, as His Excellency the President, elevated him to be the substantive minister in charge. And seeing this historic, transfer of the university to its main campus is something is remarkable, and that's a tribute to you. You are doing it very well. I remember when you announced that, last semester, we are going to move to Farawa. There was a lot of, misgivings here and there. But, you maintain your ground, you maintain government policy. I was telling some of them, the government said you go. That place is the permanent village of the student. That is the student Kunda. So we'll go there. And thank you very much. And then our TVT, Technical and Vocational Education, the team for the next AU Summit is on education. Definitely your ministry is basically at the pulse of time. Thank you. Let me know, maybe I might be stealing something from your speech. I'm sorry, because Honorable Minister. Thank you
very much, MC. Thank you for your generosity and kindness, and It's well appreciated. Well, at the end of the day, Faraba is not Prof. Gomez, it's the Gambian people. It's all of us. So, under the leadership of His Excellency President Barrow, we were asked to deliver, and the Gambian people gave they gave us the funds, and there was no other option than to deliver. So, and that was just the beginning. So we'll continue marching, and we are yet to cross the bridge. Though what we have is well appreciated, but we should continue. We are yet to reach the mountaintop. Honorable Ministers, Permanent Secretaries, Heads of Institutions or Departments, Senior Government Officials, distinguished guests, members of the media, and fellow citizens, good morning to you all. I stand before you today with great pleasure and honor in solidarity with my colleague, Minister Honorable Usman Eba, to address this esteemed gathering on behalf of my ministry, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, MOHAS. This is in the spirit of collaboration and progress, and I sincerely express my gratitude to the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, MOCDI, for organizing this press conference, a press conference that will provide information on the strides made in terms of achievement and progress made collectively in the pursuit of excellence for the Gambia and also in fulfillment of Yiriwa. Equally, I wish to congratulate Honorable Ba and MOCDI team for the achievements they have single-handedly registered in 2023. Distinguished participants, first, I wish to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, for his foresight and visionary leadership in establishing a ministry responsible for communications and digital economy. There is a clear understanding of the critical role this sector can play in our development struggle, and it is a manifestation of the wisdom regarding technology and digital transformation of His Excellency, the President. Ensuring transparency and accountability in the fight against corruption in our governance system and creating jobs and socio-economic development are significant to our transformation process. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our nation's progress is intricately woven through the collaborative efforts of various ministries, departments, and agencies, all working in tandem to propel our beloved country forward. Besides thanking Honorable Minister Ba for the invitation, today I am here to highlight the flourishing collaboration between MOHAS and MOCDI, a partnership that exemplifies the synergy between the realms of higher education, research, science and technology, and the dynamic world of communications and digital economy. One example of this collaboration is the recently concluded feasibility study for establishing a UTG Technology Hub and Regional Information and Innovation Hub. This initiative was a testament to the commitment of both ministries to foster innovation and technological advancement within our nation. The UTG Research Directorate, an entity under MOHAS, spearheaded this study through a contract funded by MOCDI. This collaboration underscores the shared vision of our ministries in harnessing the power of education, research, and technology for the socio-economic development of the Gambia, all under one umbrella, under one government called the Government of the Gambia, under the leadership of His Excellency President Barrow. Ladies and gentlemen, when established, The UTG Technology Hub and Regional Information and Innovation Hub would be more than physical spaces. They will symbolize our commitment to creating an ecosystem where academia and technology seamlessly converge. These hubs will serve as incubators for ideas, fostering a conducive environment for research, innovation, and the development of cutting-edge technologies. The collaboration between MOGDI and MOHAS in this endeavor demonstrates our joint dedication to preparing our youth for the digital age, equipping them with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in an ever-evolving global landscape that evolves, tailoring our curriculum to what the industries demand. Distinguished guests and fellow citizens, the importance of collaboration between our digital sector, overseen by MOGDI and higher education, research, science and technology through MOHAS cannot be overstated. Collaboration becomes a strategic imperative in today's interconnected world, where technological advancement drives progress. Through joint efforts, we can bridge the gap between academia and industry, ensuring that our education system aligns with the needs of the digital economy. Distinguished guests, members of the media, and fellow citizens, as we reflect on the unprecedented achievements registered by MOGDI in 2023, let us celebrate the power of collaboration and knowledge and acknowledge its pivotal role in shaping the Gambia's future. MOGDI and MOHAS are forging a path towards a knowledge-driven and technologically empowered nation. As no one has it all and can do it alone, everyone wins in collaboration and partnership. To conclude, I thank MOGDI for their invitation to grace this noble gathering and their unwavering support and partnership. I want to encourage all ministries, departments, and agencies, since we are all serving one government under one president, President Barrow, as well as the private sector, to continue working hand in glove, collaborating and partnering, as it is the surest way to harness our transformative potential and embrace sustainable development, because we have no other way than to develop this country, and we have the capacity, we have the personnel, we have the will, and the political will for that matter. So let us not wait, development is now. Thank you.
In our development paradigms that we are taking. Remember in the 1980s when we had the TESITO. So continuity, government is continuity. In this generation, when we talk about Yoruba, the people will understand what it means and they'll participate and they'll take ownership of all the development taking place. You highlighted two important issues. Talk about the UTG Technology Hub. I'm humbled that I was part of that contract committee, and the UTG won the contract and they did a very wonderful job. And I'm glad that we're going to have technology hub there. So it's quite interesting how a job that one do cuts across, and that's why it's important when we are doing something, we think of tomorrow. It might be something you never know, it'll have an impact later. And I'm glad that our committee, we did our job very well, and then we did not make a mistake in awarding the contract to UTG to deliver something for the nation. You talk about employability is very important. You're talking about young people not getting jobs. The challenge we realize that we get feedback from the public, especially the employers. They say most of our young people are not employable. It's not that they are not lack of job, but they are not employable. And I'm glad that the minister is aware, is doing a lot, especially this TVET policy. I highlighted it during our last AU meeting that Gambia is doing a lot in that area. That's going to address the issue of employability, and that country will be attractive. It will have a cascading effect on this irregular migration and backway syndrome. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Higher Education. Keep fighting, keep pushing. We are behind you. We support you all the way. Thank you. I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Trade, Honorable Diouf, to give a brief remark on behalf of His Excellency the Vice President. Honorable Diouf, just a few words of encouragement. Former Vice President is a teacher, he's a veteran. I remember when the credit union started new, he was there and a pioneer.
MC, I want to first of all thank the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy and his staff for this very, very laudable initiative. Personally, I believe that public officers are accountable to the citizenry, and this is a feature that should be regular and annual and cut across government, that we should be meeting the public. The Ministry of Public Service know my stance on this, that we should be giving feedback and getting feedback from the public in relation to how we deliver government as a service to the public. Today, I am here representing the Vice President, who is unavoidably absent. We all understand His Excellency the President has just taken off for a trip to South Congo, and the Vice President now has to anchor the rest of the state machinery, so he couldn't come. He extends his apologies to Honorable Minister Ba and the Ministry of Digital Economy, but he extends his appreciation of this move and thanks you for inviting him. It's important that we note we've already been informed that 15 cabinet papers were introduced by this ministry in 2023. The President and the Vice President and the rest of cabinet would know the amount of passion that Usman Ba, Minister, will bring to cabinet when those papers are on our desks. We know the passion he has for this transformation. We know how much fire he brings to cabinet to ensure those papers go. And if you want to see Usman attempt to jump out of his skin, let the paper be scrutinized very, very critically. So we thank you for all the fire you brought. And I know cabinet is also excited and looking forward to the outcome of all these things at the end of the day, because we are doing this. We know you are setting up a ministry, very important ministry, for the entire economy to be actually reactivated, rebooted, recalibrated. You need this kind of policy changes, policy shifts, and we are behind you. We will continue to give you the support where we feel what we are doing is the best interest of this country. So this, I was not prepared to make a statement. It is an exciting moment for all of us as government is one. If I were to give a statement in relation to trade vis-a-vis digital economy, we also have some collaboration along the way that we could have explained how all this. So every government ministry allows digital economy to meander into what you are doing, because that's the way we can bring about this digital transformation, the e-governance thing and all that. So on this note, not prepared to be a teacher today, I just want to thank Honorable Ba on behalf of the Vice President and the rest of government for this initiative, very valuable initiative, and we look forward to 2024 together. Thank you very much.
Of Trade, on behalf of the Vice President, for that wonderful remark. Indeed, you've touched the point. Your ministry has a lot to do with trade, and I would like to just make a quick reference to the African Digital Transformation Strategy. You talk about trade, and so those who don't know can know how the link between trade and the ICT. The digital transformation talk about building a secure digital single market by 2020 in Africa, where free movement of persons, services, and capital is ensured. Individuals and businesses can seamlessly access and engage in online activities in line with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This basically falls under the mandate of the Ministry of Trade, and Gambia is domesticating it. It's from the African country. Thank you very much, and we'd like to adjust the podium before the Honorable Minister comes forward. 3 years outside the country, learning, acquiring knowledge as the troubadour, I traverse, those who did the literature read about Ibn Battuta and all those adventurers. And when President Barrow designated diaspora as the 8th region, all efforts have been made by the government to ensure that diaspora plays an important role to go beyond remittance. Reintegration of diaspora into the economy and into all the day life is happening gradually. And the return of the likes of Honorable Minister is one example. I mean, he has over 16 years experience working in the ICT sector, Bank of America, working in the fintech. He understands the ecosystem of ICT and digital transformation. So therefore, he's at the right post, and I'm glad that he left a well-paid job to come and contribute. We all know that public service, is about sacrifice. He's well educated. He understands both administration and also leadership. At the Bank of America, he was heading a team of about 400 people. It means that he understands how to manage people. The greatest resources of every country or institution is the human capital. If you can manage people of different characters and attitudes and mentalities and background together, you'll achieve your goal. The Honorable Minister has this background with an MBA and an MSc. He's also academically prepared for the task. Honorable, if I want to go through all your resume, we must spend the day here. So you have to go for Friday prayers. So that's why allow me to hold a brief and invite you to please elucidate on the achievements of the minister. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. And before I begin my speech, I want to recommend an international guest we have here from the United States. And that's Hannah Waters from Starlink. Can you stand up so the crowd can see you? Thank you very much. Good morning, Honorable Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Good morning, my colleague cabinet ministers. Good morning, permanent secretaries here present. Good morning, senior government officials. Good morning, CEOs of private sectors that are present here today. Good morning to the media present here today. Thank you for coming. If you look at your desk, you are given a blueprint of our achievement. Take some time to look at it. And after the event, we will take a picture with the high table. Sorry, our moderator, before they leave. But I want to emphasize one thing. Be patient with us this morning or this afternoon to show you what we have done for this country. It is important for everybody to understand the digital economy covers every ministry in this government. I stand before you as the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy of the Gambia to share the remarkable achievement and stride made by the ministry in 2023, together with the collaboration of partners. First, I wish to seize this opportunity to thank, in particular, His Excellency, the Vice President, and the representative he sent here, my colleague Cabinet Minister, Honorable Juve, for gracing this occasion, as well as colleague Cabinet Ministers. Thank you for attending and for your support. Distinguished guests, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of transparency and accountability, I am delighted to present a comprehensive overview of the result achievement of the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy in 2023. Throughout the year, we have witnessed substantial progress in design, development, formulation, and implementation of policy, strategy, bills, and regulation aimed at fostering the growth of digital economy in the Gambia. These achievements encompass successful collaboration as well include the signing of crucial memoranda of understanding, MOUs with bilateral partners, and numerous engagement with various stakeholders within and outside the Gambia. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in collaboration, effort with the ministries in the Gambia have seen a pivotal to our success in the result and achievement registered in 2023. The cross-cutting nature of the digital economy requires seamless integration with various sectors. As a result, we have worked hand in hand with other ministries, understanding the importance of a united or unified approach to harness the full potential of digital transformation and the digital economy. This collaboration has not only enhanced efficiency, but has also fostered a holistic development strategy for the nation. Fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, it is very important for me to express how grateful I am for the unwavering support and confidence bestowed upon me by His Excellency President Adama Barrow. His visionary leadership and wisdom in establishing the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy reflects his commitment to positioning the Gambia as a digital hub in the region. The President's support, coupled with the backing giving the digital economy sector, as well as his support for the approval of all cabinet papers passed and adopted in 2023 at Cabinet. This underscores the government dedication to technological advancement, leveraging technology for development and social economic transformation. In addition, I express my appreciation to my colleagues in Cabinet, in particular the Vice President and all Cabinet members for their invaluable support in passing and adopting Cabinet papers presented by the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy in 2023. This commitment to this cause demonstrated a collective understanding and the transformation power that the digital economy holds for our nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I commend the dedication and hard work for all the staff of the ministry and the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, as well as the staff of our line institution and entities, including the Gambia ITC Agency, Gamtel, Gamcel, Gampos, Digital Gambia, known as DGL, and as well as PURA. It is their tireless effort that have contributed significantly to the realization of our goal. I would like to encourage them to do more. As one writer says, Jim Rohn, I quote, "For every discipline, effort, there are multiple rewards." Distinguished guests, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, looking ahead, I envision the Gambia prominently featured in the Digital Global Index for ICT and Digital Economy sector. This includes benchmarks such as the Digital E-Government Index, the ICT Index, Connectivity Index, Network Readiness Index, and other relevant metrics in which the following are currently the rank of the Gambia for this index. The Gambia ranked 174 out of 193 countries in the UN E-Government Development Index in 2022, rising 7th place following the Pyro survey conducted in 2020. The Gambia has ranked 143 in the world among 193 countries, also placing it behind many African states. The Gambia ranked 159 out of 179 countries in the 2019 ITU Low Consumption Mobile Data and Voice Affordability Ranking. My obligation as a minister to see the Gambia progress and be among the top in each of these indexes, as well as strive to position the Gambia as a leader in the digital space, contributing to the global discourse on a digital transformation. During my travel with my delegation, we traveled to several countries in 2023. Few countries as Mauritius, which has 1.3 million population, less than the Gambia, Rwanda, Nigeria, and Estonia, to name few. These 4 countries, we have seen what digital transformation has contributed to their GDP growth. And I state, in Nigeria, 17% of their GDP is contributed by the Digital Economy Ministry. And in Mauritius, about 11% of their GDP growth came from the digital communication and digital economy of that ministry. Likewise, in Rwanda as well. So it is clear and it is undisputable that we cannot do without digital transformation. This reflects the transformational power of a digital sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not only about fancy ranking or position, but also inevitably the ICT and digital economy sector play a pivotal role in the social economic transformation and development. Therefore, our focus is on leveraging technology as a catalyst, inclusive, sustainable growth and development, job creation, creating a conducive environment for digital innovation and entrepreneurship, and improve service deliverable. My ministry remains committed to bridge the digital divide, ensuring that the benefit of digital economy are accessible to all citizens and enhance the life of every Gambian. For 22 years, we were locked out of the global digital transformation. We have seen from the first administration of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, and his second administration in this second term, how much and how many new and fintech companies have been established in this country. We have seen the development that has been registered with this government, and we will continue to do more. The government of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, has always supported the digital transformation. And this is where the visionary of His Excellency came by decoupling the two ministries. In my ministry, before we depart here, you will see what the ministry was before it was MOPTI. We have done a lot compared with the little resources we have at our disposal. I want to take this opportunity to continue to encourage my staff to believe in themselves and know that the sky, there is no limit. We understand that a connected society is a catalyst for sustainable transformation and development. Therefore, the efforts are underway to create more level playing field for the private sector to strive in ICT and digital economy sector in the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, the journey toward digitally transformed Gambia is one that requires collective effort of every citizen. To do so, it requires the investment and resources. There, the support of the Gambia government is needed to provide the needed resources to the digital economy sector, and as well as support from the development partners. Therefore, the government, private sector, civil servant, development partners must unite in this endeavor. To conclude, let me embrace the fact that the technology is the cornerstone of development. The ministry cannot do it alone. It is a collaborative and ongoing process that requires the active participation and support of every Gambian. Let's remember, not too long ago, you cannot speak without watching your back. Today, we have the freedom of speaking freely, expressing our opinion, how we feel about things going in this country. But remember, it is not only about freedom, it is also about contribution to your nation. I encourage all my diasporan friends and family that are outside of the Gambia to contribute to our nation's development. It is only us who can do it for ourselves. Nobody will do it for us. From young, old, we have to come together and build this nation. Together, let's build a future where digital economy propel the Gambia to a new height of development, prosperity, and inclusivity. And I thank you for listening, and thank you for your kind attention.
And where you have to use the VPN to find your way through your mobile phone and communicate with the outside world. And right today we have the proliferation of fintech. And I'm glad that we have the Managing Director of Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation here. In India, we had a session about how the link between social security and digital transformation. We are going to learn a lot, and thank you very much. And we're going to into that is knowing the activities of the various sectors, especially we have the Gambia ICT agency. You're going to have digital transformation without having these specialized entities. And the head of this new institution is no other than Dr. Ablai Jallo, who is the director of the government. Introducing him is Dr. Abdul Karim Jallo. Professor. Give me now because I just completed property. Left a very well paid job, was lecturing at the University of in Pennsylvania, USA. At a well paid job earning about $100,000 per annum. Decided to respond. That was a vacancy announcement, international, competitive vacancy announcement. He applied, which means that he got a job based on merit. Decided to come and serve, decided to respond to the call for the participation of diaspora in our national transformation. Doctor, I'm advised I'll be under time pressure. That's why I will not be able to go through your illustrious, exemplary resume, which reads basically like the tale of Gigamesh, inspirational, but I'll allow you to come and take us through the achievements of your agency.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Honorable Ministers, Heads of Government Departments present, the Deputy Speaker, all distinguished here. It is my honor to be given the platform to talk to you about the Gambia Information and Communications Technology Agency. We had the various speakers, the Honorable Ministers, talk about the importance of digitalization in order to drive the digital economy. And this particular agency is set up purposely to drive the implementation process of our digital economy. This is going to be what I'm going to talk about, but I know we are under the pressure of time, so I will do my best, because I know the Sarahules here are hungry, and the Jolas, they want to go very quickly. Now, I want to talk very quickly about the establishment of the agency. The agency is established by law, by an act of the National Assembly and signed by the President and Clerk of the House in October 2019. It operates under the purview of the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, and it is responsible for implementation. It is to coordinate and promote and monitor all government ICT projects and services. And it is also to lead the implementation of our Gambia's e-government plan. We are supervised by a board, because I think it is very important that people know that the country knows about the agency, okay? It is supervised by a board, and you can see the names. Most of you will recognize some of these names. The board supervises our operations and reports back to the ministry and also the central government. Why JICTA? Why did we establish this? You had the minister talk about Mauritius, talk about Rwanda, talk about Ghana, Nigeria. Each and every one of these countries has an agency similar to JICTA, that is to lead implementation of ICT implementation. Now here in the Gambia, number one, the journey that we have taken, that we went through in order to establish JICTA, number one, what were the problems that resulted in the setup of the agency? One, there was an absence of proper coordination of how ICT systems are implemented in the government. There was no central agency that was doing that. Number two, standardization of the implementation of our ICT systems was not available, or even if it was available, implementation of those standards was not cohesive. Number three, there was fragmentation in the way that our systems were implemented. We have silos implementation of systems. We have different government departments and agencies and ministries implementing systems, which creates fragmentation. And as a result, that creates integration challenges. And when there are integration challenges, that creates lack of interoperability between our systems. And you cannot have a digital government, a digital economy, when systems are not integrated. That is a fundamental aspect of systems operating efficiently. And what did that create? Sustainability was a problem. When these systems are implemented, maintaining these systems so that they operate and provide the purposes was a problem. As a result, a study was done in order to establish JICTA, so that this agency will be responsible for coordination and project management and monitoring of these government systems. Because we should understand, government spends a lot of money, and we need to be able to get value for money. JICTA is established, as I said, by Act of Parliament, with objectives clearly specified. Two, it has been given powers in order to be able to operate and implement those services, systems and services. And three, it has functions that it needs to make sure it is able to operationalize its activities. We have a vision. We had the Honorable Minister talk about the digital economy and how we envisage the Gambia to go through the digital transformation. At DICTA, our vision is a digitally integrated, smart government and nation. Whatever we do, that is the vision that we have in our minds. And what does that provide us? That digitally integrated smart government means we can be able to do almost everything, our public services, right? From tax payment to passport application, so that we don't have people coming from Basse, from Nyankoi, to line up here for days and weeks just to get a passport, as the Honorable Minister always emphasized on this, right? Our tax payment and so forth and so forth. That's what a smart government and nation is going to be, and that's what drives our digital economy. Our mission is to be able to go through the entire process of design and implementation of our systems, right? For some of you who are very familiar with information systems, from the time that you generate the ideas to the requirements, to the design and implementation and operationalization, in order to build a very good, robust systems across our government in order to give us that digital economy. This is the vision. I don't want you to read it all, but I want to highlight a few things here. Smart and innovative cutting-edge digital solutions. That's what we have in mind. And then two, we will do coordination and standardization of the systems that we design and implement. And we will go through the design, implementation, and management of how we design the systems. And of course, to push through that digital transformation in order to achieve the digital economy. Okay? I now want to touch on some of the objects. Number one is to enhance government services. We had the permanent secretary from public service talk about how we can enhance our civil service to make it smart, to make it digital. And that's what we aim for. That's one of the objectives of this agency, right? Number two, to transition towards a sustainable e-government environment, so that every aspect of our government, every ministry, every department and agency that you go to, you should be able to interact with the government, right? That's what brings about the smart nation. Number three, to empower the people of this country, residents and businesses, to grow. To promote standardization, we want to make sure that from now on, we don't just sit down and anybody just brings a system and wants to implement it without going through the standardization process, right? Three, and four, to create uniformity in our ICT usage. Today, some of you who are familiar of the NDAs, there are so many different types of systems and applications that are implemented. And in most occasions, there is no uniformity in terms of operating systems, software, and things like that, right? So we want to make sure that there is some kind of uniformity in order to support the integration and interoperability of the systems. A very important aspect of the object is promoting cooperation, coordination, and rationalization, right? Sometimes you will have different ministries implementing different systems, but in actual sense, if we cooperate and coordinate our efforts, instead of having 5 different systems across those different ministries and agencies, you can have only one. For example, you have one enterprise resource planning system, right? Instead of every ministry and department agency trying to do something, right? Very important, okay? And then conduct research in order to bring about innovative technology and also to support local content development and the participation of local businesses in the country. Commission expert evaluations so that we are sure that the systems are doing what they are supposed to do, considering reliability and cybersecurity, coordinate cybersecurity measures, and also make sure we provide technical tests before those systems are even implemented. We will also look at how we provide e-readiness surveys in order to understand how ready we are in terms of the competencies and capabilities that we have to implement these systems, and also to develop partnership both with the public and private sector as well as the international community as we conduct our implementations. Approval, we will be approving when departments want to implement systems, they will contact the ministry and DICTA so that we see that what they want to implement is in line with the standards instead before they go ahead to implement. And we will provide project oversight, monitoring and evaluation, and provide general education, training, and awareness in order to support digital literacy in the country. In terms of functions, provide first-level technical support for critical government infrastructure, which is very important, working hand in hand with our cybersecurity folks, and also enforce standards of hardware and software procurement so that we are sure that the hardware and software that we acquire are also things that can be implemented and operationalized and maintained. And also to guide service providers such as the cloud in order to implement the cloud policies that the ministry will develop. Monitor and evaluate ICT industry performance so that we are aware of what is happening somewhere else and adapt where necessary. And also the procurement and approval specifications for the different types of systems, and also to help manage the government ICT employees. And I know the Honorable Minister is very passionate in trying to help the government ICT employees in order to boost capacity of those ICT workers. Cybersecurity, which I talked about, one very important aspect of the Gambia government is on records management. We want to do away with this, right? If you go to government departments, you have filing cabinets with paper files and things like that, right? In a smart digital government, we want to say no, and we want to make sure we get to this, where we have data centers, which again is something that the minister is very passionate about, and then have the applications that will help us to be able to manage our records rather than having files, filing cabinets and things like that. And then, of course, create capacity building for local IT delivery, e-payment, very important. Even His Excellency the President, Adam Barrow, is very much particular about e-payment in all government sectors, so that when we make payments, we pay using our cards or our banks, right? Instead of money, cash, right? And also to advocate for new ICT projects. Currently, we are operationalizing. We have started recruiting. Some of the staffs will be starting in the next few weeks. Some of them, in fact, are here attending this event today. And we have also started collaborating with our stakeholders, Wade, Gamkel, and also internationally. And we are also beginning to engage the private sector, because we understand that the private sector is very important. In fact, you cannot do digital transformation without the involvement of the private sector. And we are also investigating infrastructure and systems in order to be able to implement systems and services that are good for what we want. And also by getting the Bangladeshis e-government solutions that we will be customizing for our needs. And based on that, we have already mapped out some activities that we have started, and I'm pretty sure some of you in the private sector and government agencies will very soon start seeing us in order to start implementations or understanding what you have in your various departments. The way we collaborate is this: we have the ministries, department, and agencies. And we have MOBI, the Ministry of Digital Economy, and DICTA, which DICTA is under. And then we will have close collaboration, and we will be receiving, MOBI will be receiving ICT policy drivers and formulate those policies. Those will be passed to DICTA to develop programs and projects and implement them. And then we will then be operationalizing those systems with the ministries, department, and agencies, and also conduct evaluations and monitoring, right, to know how to improve. And we do not also forget about regulation and standards. We will be cooperating and collaborating with agencies and authorities like KURA, GPPA for procurement, and the Gambia Standards Bureau to formulate standards for ICT operation in the country. Right? And in summary of our activities, One is to support integration and interoperability of our systems. Two, to spearhead the e-government implementation. Three, infrastructure development to support the ministry's policies and programs and strategies in infrastructure. And also to support coordination and monitoring of all government ICT systems and help in those development and implementation. Cybersecurity enhancement, work with the ministry's Directorate of Cybersecurity to ensure a secure cyberspace within the government, and also to facilitate digital literacy in the country, so that the Sarahules in Basse can be able to use these systems, right? And the Jolas in Foni, right? And also to support standardization across all our government systems and services, and also to support local development of ICT so that the money remains here, right? I hope so. I also thank you. With that, I thank you very much. Thank you.
What about an institution, and so that, within 5 years' time, the impact of your agency will be felt across nationwide? Thank you. We wish you all the way. Next, we'll have the Director of E-Governance, Mr.
Yes. Good afternoon. Before I quit, I know we are running out of time. I'll do my best to fasten my, presentation. But what I want to do, just for 2 seconds, I want to pause here and recognize my staff, management, and also the 2 agencies we have, or 2 institutions or 2 departments we have established in 2023. So I would like to call Dr. Abdurrahman Jallo, the Director General of GICTA. Please stand for me here. And the next person is Seri Modu Low, Omar Low, Seri Omar Low. He's the PC coordinator of our World Bank project. He's leading a $50 million project. Give him a round of applause. So these 2 guys, it took me almost 6 months to try to get them to the Gambia. This process was a long, long process. He was in UK, he was in US. So I encouraged them to apply for this job when it was open. And they went through the process fairly, and they got the job. I can tell you confidently, these 2 individuals will help us to move our ministry with my management, which I would call, just quick, I start with my permanent secretary, the technocrat in our ministry. So, yes, please. And I have the e-government director or director of e-government, which is Landroom. Please come forward. And also we have the director of cybersecurity, Sanusi Drame. Please come forward. Now I have my, I don't know how to say this one. This is like a cousin to me. My deputy permanent secretary, Ibrahim Adabo. Please come forward. The next one, who always grade me on my presentation, let's have Deputy Technical Marlon Bass. And I have another cousin of mine, another Fana with me, and his name is Hassan J. Please come forward. So next, I have Hassan Jame. Hassan Jame, everything we do, this guy is the one who plans it. Luñ mundi def, si suñ ministry, kii moo ko amee. Si moom la ñoo dem. Luñ bugga rek, any data boo bugga rek, moom moo ko amee. Welcome, Hassan Jame. Now, we have what we call our dictionary. Suñ dictionary, si suñ ministry bi, moom du mos a wax kenn. It's not possible. Loko jo rek mun na ko def. Serigne Modou Ba, come in. So these are my management team at the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. They am culture boo xam ne ñun no is not in our dictionary or in our vocabulary in our ministry. Suñ vocabulary mooy we will try. Danañ try. loolu culture boobu lañ créé bu ma ñëwee si ministry bi quick ñii ni yëpp they were principals. The first thing lu ma def mooy 3 months defuma dara toog rek di déglu waaye lu ma gis seen potentiel lu ma gis moo tax ma promote leen as a director and they are completed. So lu ma leen bëgg a wax like when you give people chance soo joxee nit ñi chance nga jox leen the liberty the open door policy, all of them can come to my office with no appointment. They go over the extra mile for you. Just the recognition, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you. With that, I have 2 new staff, or 3, that I would like to recommend quick, which is the principal of cybersecurity. Mom never buy a banking job and they join me. Government never get salary cut. And then we have Jamal Ben Suda, Momdam, another technocrat. So it took me also 1 year to get into our ministry. So the guy just, and one of, not the best, but the best or one of the best at our engineering from Gamtel joiner, Lamin Party. So then we have one lady who is exceptional. One exceptional. Not only exceptional. She wanted to take vocation, I turned it off. I turned it down, excuse me. Maneko, don't want to take vocation. Mune Maluta, Maneko, you are highly needed. So they may ready me Jai. So Amin Jai, please join us. So dengar di sun ministry bi mo ñu ngi am keneen ñu ma fatale bu léegi another smart of the smartest same time during common entrance days. This guy, according to the source I got, he scored over 300 in common entrance. Modu Alim Jalo, come here. You can see we want the best of the best. So wherever I can feel them, this is my ministry. So culture, we are family. We fight all the time, but we try to do our best to deliver. And that's what's important, honestly. So I want to thank them and thank everybody, Modu Alijalo and everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon, and let's continue with the delivery. Thank you. So, to go into the presentation, for new delivery or achievement in 2023. The first thing Numalen Buga won moy Swing Ministry, Nyan SOE Nyoneka on the Swing Ministry, Gamtel, which I said earlier, Gamtel, Gicta, Digital Gambia. Then we have Post Office, somebody here from Post Office. Samba? Okay. Thank you very much. And then we have Gamtel manager here, Fati. Thank you very much. And Bas, Deputy Managing Director of Gamtel. So Association Ministry, since 2002, the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy started crawling. Then you look at 2009, the Rajisturi start changing. Then 2011, where were we? Then 2022, when the two ministries were decoupled. Then you then see 2023, this is where we are today, the milestone we have achieved in 2023. So as you can see, I don't need to name the names, you can see all the ministry, when they started migrating from one name to another, then Tolu. Dabo, can I have that piece of paper? All right, thank you. So, Swing Ministry, we have a very, very laser focus. Deliver what we want to deliver. When I was appointed on June 2022, or in June 2022, I was told go to head the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. I was just given a blank piece of paper. You see this? There's nothing written in it. Could you imagine? You were appointed on the 24th, on the 27th is Monday, and you are at the job, you are given the handover note. 5 pages. It is frightening and scary. It was very, very scary. Look at more scary, because you are coming to a new culture, a different dynamic. You don't have manual, amulo ben manual boy topa, bunga hamne danala won ban direction go wara take. So what do you do? You think, you ask, you analyze, you filter, you process. And that's exactly what I did. The first 3 months in my job, I just come and listen. I think I would say there was a guy here named Mr. Dabo. He started, my deputy permanent secretary, saying, what did the president brought for us? Is this guy is just quiet, he don't talk. So, because all of them so Hamud like it. If you don't know, you ask. I asked a lot of questions in my 4th month. So knowing the Gambian ecosystem prior to coming to Gambia, I had little experience in the ITC sector. So from this question of asking, what does the Gambians need? What is lacking in this country in terms of digital transformation? You have to understand that before even you go to step 1. So we came up with these 5 pillars. These 5 pillars are the pillars that are going to take us from cash economy to cash light economy. Because today, if you look at Gambia, every transaction we do in this country, about 85% or 90%, I would say, is by cash. You cannot grow your economy without having a cash-light economy, which is electronic transaction or electronic payment. So we have, first, in order to do that, you need accessibility and connectivity. How do you get connectivity? We all know, we only have one submarine cable in this country, which is the ACE cable. While in Buga, a second submarine cable, which would provide the capacity, backup for redundancy. Why take? So submarine cable ame problems in the sea. Gambia will go down. It happened before. For 24 hours, I believe, or more. Everything went down. So since first vision, you am the second submarine cable. Dum dohe bena tanka, why nyari tanka la nyo dohe li. All right? So now, so I'm living submarine cable. Lenen luñ buga suñ data, government data, private sector data, fan lañ ko dencha. You need a data center. But you cannot get a tier 4 or type 4 data center without a second submarine cable. So they all interlink. The next, you're looking at the payment gateway. The national switch, everybody know about GAM switch. You know GAM switch. And we are working with the central bank to make sure that hopefully before end of this year, every Gambian citizen who has a debit card can go to the store or to any merchant, either use barcode or their debit card to make purchases for product and services at their choice. Very critical. But nañ seet 22 ministry yuñ amee. We need e-government to provide citizens services effectively and efficiently at your fingertip. But you cannot do that without access. Mënuloo def loolu te fekk amuloo access to the internet. It's very simple. So Soko said, now, the one that wakes me in the middle of the night, which is the National Digital ID card. These 5 pillars we call them, excuse me, are the road to a digital transformation nation. But with all this, how do you protect all this great data? You need what we call the roof, which is the cybersecurity. This is how we created our ministry for our vision. We are very laser focused, because when you have too many things you want, you can get lost in the weed. So there is what we call the needs and the wants. The wants are something you would like to have, nice to have, but the needs you must have. Now, let's look at all these 5 pillars, how they are connected to our 5 layers. You have connectivity, which I said earlier, informal government services, data center, payment gateway, digital ID, which we call the platform stack. You have the access layer, you have the service layer, you have the data layer, the payment layer, and the identity layer. These are all connected to our 5 pillars. You can now mark them. Without the 5 pillars, you can achieve these services. We took few examples. The Ministry of Agriculture, you hear what we call e-ag or agri-tech, and e-education, e-tech. Then you have the health ministry we use as an example. So they may look at and say, fine, so receipt. Lañ laa jox receipt kay yow ndax xam nga payment boo def noonu ndax agsi na si government bank account. There's no way government today can validate every payment you pay at the Royal Victoria Hospital is going to the central government. But if there is an electronic payment, you take an electronic payment, the moment you dip that card or that barcode, the payment goes directly through the national switch. And the government take what it's supposed to take and in few seconds. This is why it is so important you understand the transformation journey is a must. It's not luxurious, but necessity. Now, let's look at the milestone. We have our vision. As you can see, we have the 5 pillars. We have our guiding principle and the milestones where we are on each of these 5 pillars. With the submarine cable, to make story short, fast in the process, Windore Ministry, in July 2022, I started with the World Bank. And I told them, what do we need to achieve to make sure that this submarine cable be here by 2025? They give me 6 items or 5 items. You have to have the PRU established. You have to have a connectivity specialist, environmental specialist, PC coordinator, procurement specialist, financial specialist. All this you have to have it before we even talk about money. I say, okay, no problem. So we went to work. Within 1 year, today the PIU have been established, led by Sering Omar Low. And you will see in the presentation where we now acquired the $25 million for our second submarine cable. And hopefully we will be moving fast in this process, because at this stage, it is only Guinea-Conakry and Gambia has met the requirement for those 5 countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and, Mauritania, has met the requirement to proceed. So we are lucky. Not only that, but new. Sunhalis Bunyu is different from the one in Guinea-Conakry. Guinea-Conakry is a loan, but Gambia is a grant. So ladies, right? So that's a big achievement. We are now in the process of hiring the transactional advisor to make sure that we fasten the process. So Guinea and Gambia. Then we look at the data center. We have been engaged with many different partners. Data center. So this is Bente. We are in the initial stage or at the advanced stage of the data center. We are not yet at the implementation stage. Data center, tier 4, Harlisby, is nothing less than $50 million. And it ranges all the way to $80 million. I'm going to Harlisby barrier. The new government Gambia amuñ Harlisby. So in fact, you collaborate ak yenen partners. You know, they can work with us to bring this to the Gambia on a BOT, build, operate, and transfer. If it was financing alone, we will be in the implementation stage. But our ministry, with my leadership, we refuse to take a loan on behalf of the government for that kind of amount. We are not going to put debt on our young kids for many years to come. We will not be able to pay this. So we have to work and be strategic about how we get our data center. And why do we want a tier 4 instead of tier 3 or tier 2? It's very important. Because today, I'm a tier 4. Then I'm licensed in Microsoft, AWS, and Google as well. So Google, download a video on your mobile phone. You see that hourglass rolling, then QCell or AfriCell, they're taking my data. Why they're so slow? Many of us complain. But let me tell you something. Most of this data you are trying to retrieve, their archive is not in the Gambia. So think about the bandwidth. You are not buying data, you are buying bandwidth. Your bandwidth is agenda. You don't know data. So that bandwidth, capacity to retrieve that information, if it's from AWS, which is Amazon, the closest location Ungamuna retrieve database is in UK or South Africa or the Gambia. Just think about that. This is why we want a tier 4 data center in this country, because that would differentiate us from the sub-region within the sub-Sahara. Very, very important. And we can sell these services to these countries. So now we move to the payment gateway, which I discussed earlier. Payment gateway is way overdue. So I believe that we are at a stage where we have a better understanding with the central bank, and there is a committee that is set and established, working hard or very, very hard to make sure that before end of this year, we achieve this GAM switch, national switch with central bank. So if you look at the digital, the e-government, I'm on some competition, I would say. 12 countries present to the UNDP. Luta Nyubuga e-government. Kiwana could be Dr. Jallo. Service Bobuga take government, you have to go physically there. It is very expensive and tiring and frustrating. So what we envision is to make sure that we have a national government database. You know, if you go to Mauricio, they have what they call info highway. All the ministry data, they go in that database. So anything you want as a ministry, you can retrieve that data from there. And that's what we want. So when we did this presentation, luckily, out of 12 countries, Gambia was selected among the top 4 that was given the award. Oh, is that no. So thank you very much. So you will see that I went to New York in September to receive this award on a matching fund. So we were awarded $32,000 US through the UNDP and through the A2I. A2I is the institution or organization that built the e-government for Bangladesh. They have connected 32 ministries. Bangladesh have about 67 ministries. So far they connected about 32. And we are going to replicate the same e-government, customize it to what fits for Gambia. Now, think about it. This project costs millions of dollars, but we are getting it on a matching fund for only $54,000 US. Why? Because they want to showcase Gambia so they can now get it to other countries within Africa. So we were in Bangladesh, me and my director of e-government. We went there and sat with them and had some really good bilateral, and they are coming here this month, end of this month. Now let's move to what we call the IMEI, one of my favorite. Where's Mr. Diaz? He ran away. So I know whenever this comes, people sometimes don't understand why it is important we have the it should be IMEI, sorry. So what is an IMEI? It's the mobile registry on your phone. Every device you have a number called the IMEI registry. This IMEI registry is the identifier of the device, whether it's tablet, whether it's mobile phone. So it is very important that if you go to Turkey today, I use that as an example, you have to get their SIM card. You cannot use your Gambian SIM card in Turkey unless you are on the Wi-Fi. So we came with an innovative idea where we now said, let's be innovative and protect our Gambian citizens and also reduce this money laundering business and this mobile money issue. Theft. Today, when somebody steals your phone, you go to the police, you file a report, they start investigating. Good luck. They may find it, but it may take time. With this, do you know how many counterfeit telephones in this country? Who can tell me how many phones we have in the Gambia? You have a price. How many phones do we have in this country? Just guess. Both these staff are not even included. Oh, 2 million, no. Not even close. Anybody else? Very close. So we have over 4.2 million phones. That's a close. So we have over 4.2 million cell phones in this country. Just think about it. I have 5. Right? So why? Because all the GSM operators want me to have their line. I call them when I call. So they will get mad at me if I call officers to accuse them. They will get mad at me, right? So just think about it. So, and everybody has minimum 2 phones. We have 2.5 million people in this country. So I think not only that, but the counterfeit telephone we entered in this country. And those phones, when they come through the port, what happened? They come in a box. They tell the GRA, here is this box, we have 2,000 phones in this box. They pay for the amount they are giving or they declare. GRA don't open, custom don't open the box and count the phones. But with this, what's going to happen? We will now have the bill of lading, having all the telephone that is in that box with their IMEI. And now they will enter that in the database of Asikuda or what is the Asikuda single window? ITAX, they have the ITAX. The guy is the lady telephone moving you to the the moment the notified database IMEI, they will turn it off. Kuku, do not have that telephone. And I'm waiting for Jack piece and piece. So, but he cannot sell that phone, he cannot use it, he cannot do nothing with it. So that's one of the important things. Then the police. This is one of the favorite product or innovative idea for the police department. If you do anything, they can trace you easily. Mobile money, the same thing. If you do anything in terms of money laundering, using your device through banking, we can catch you easily. So I think this is important. The other part is our collaboration with Pura. We have what we call per second billing. This is how the GSM operators bill all of our citizens. Pay as you go, but on incremental. So we are working very hard with Pura to make sure if you talk 2 minutes, you pay 2 minutes. If you talk 15 seconds, you pay 15 seconds. Simple. So we in that process, migrating also to IBP6. We all know the IP addresses for IBP4, that's what Gambia have now. Then we can migrate to IBP6. ECOWAS free roaming. Tey soo demee Sénégal da nga génnee sa SIM card bi jënd Sénégal SIM card. In 2014 or 2017, don't quote me on this, before I came to government, all 15 ECOWAS countries signed a treaty to make sure that there is free roaming. Yeah, because I don't know what year. Was it 2014 or 2017? 2017. Okay. So 2017 they agreed on this. When I came to the government and I knew about this and I asked, have we implemented it? They said no. I said why? Because there was no regulation. There was nothing passed in cabinet related to this. To implement this, you have to pass the regulation. So we took it to cabinet. Luckily, it passed. So we are at the implementation stage with Ghana and Senegal as we speak. So now, hopefully, in a very short time, when you go to Senegal, you can use your own Gambian SIM card. So market assessment. You know, citizen, ñu déglu tey lu ma leen bëgg a xamal mooy soo leen ne waxee ne GSM operators yéen ministre bi loolu leen naa dem si GSM operators yi seen living bi dafa seer lii ak lii yéen bëgg leen a forcer gars yi pour ñu wàññi. Let me just break it down for you. You cannot go to the GSM operator and force them to reduce their price. You can't amul power bi muy pura muy ñun. What we have to drive the policy and we have to do a market assessment. We want to needs price based on an independent assessment. Price the lead lower and at an average. We cannot go to the GSM operator. We only do so no love Hamas citizen. You don't want to look, same price for an agile database. You have to decrease it. We can work with them, which we are doing in all fairness. And you will see that here shortly. For new one pricing based on the economic situation in the country. So market assessment begin and new cost study, poor union and new. So we will see how we can work with the GSM operator to make sure that the citizens also are served. Then one of my favorites, migrating lady Gambia 7-digit telephone number line up. So we want to go to 9-digit telephone number, which is standard. How about you an example? I am a tablet US last week. Man go register. When you visit Bena stage, you will enter the telephone number. Put you a one-time password, OTP. So my enter 220 as one number. My talk they have a text message. That are you. That. This is a perfect example. So my enter to my US number. Within a second, I got the text message. Because it was a 9-digit. That's what, based on how they were built, or that was configured, that they want to make sure that it's a 9-digit, not a 7-digit. So it's very important we migrate to this 7-digit to be standardized. So now, citizen, new said, the GSM operators, Haram, Maposti, one lender, GSM operators. So far, they have collaborated with us and has did very well to reduce the cost of internet data in this country. And the numbers are there. As they say, numbers don't lie. So I want to take this moment, QCell, AfriCell, Jaragin, thank you for working with the ministry who demanded one price, who's second. So lady, so certainly, highlighting 250 gig. One gig was costing $250, I believe. Now, if you look at it, it's $130. That is phenomenal. So, can you move away below? So, numbers are take pictures. So numbers don't lie. It's not easy. This was almost 7 or 8 meetings between myself and this GSM operator, MDs and CEOs. It was not an easy task to get them to reduce this, but they have, or they did. So we want to pause and thank them, honestly. So thank you very much. So INI, and quick, my slides. The INI, we are looking at over 400 million revenue generation in the next 5 years to go implemented. Then taxi, the one I know taxis, so is a telephone number. Most of them, they don't pay their tax, counterfeit. They don't pay tax on this phone. So we are looking at, based on the data we aggregated, we're looking at about 319 million in 5 years as well on the taxes alone. So this is, everybody wants government to do A, B, and C. But government have to generate revenue locally. We cannot depend on just World Bank and IMF. We have to be able to generate revenue locally within the government. It is very important that we understand that what we are doing is to make sure, as a digital economy, is to make sure that we generate revenue, we decrease redundancy, and we reduce corruption, period. Now, this slide, we only have, this is how our department is structured, ministry. I'm like the ICT, the telecom, the e-gov, the cybersecurity, and the admin. So the guys, the ministry started, when I came to office, we only have ICT and admin. So think about it, so the ITC, cybersecurity, telecom and postal, cybersecurity. You'll never get anything done because they can't do it all. So we decided to separate the unit and create cybersecurity unit that can focus specifically on cybersecurity. Postal and telecom, or telecom and postal, focus mainly to help drive the agenda of the telecom sector. Then the e-government to help us drive the digitalization, working through with GICTA to make sure that government services are digitalized. Now we have the cybersecurity as well. So all this data, as I said earlier, you have to have the cybersecurity unit to help you in driving the resiliency of cybersecurity. So then you have admin. But look at what we recruited. We recruited 13 staff last year. We have 43 currently, and we have 7 positions open. Anybody who is interested, you can come and apply to BMO. So now we have the next presenter. With that, I thank you for listening.
Presentation. I have to present the second part of the presentation. I think most of you already know me. I'm the permanent secretary, Mr. Lamin Kamara. Under Section 2, this we are showing, I think in my speech I already mentioned the 15 cabinet papers we got passed through the cabinet. And those cabinet papers, we have 5 that were policies, and 3 regulations, and 2 bills, and 5 strategies and plans will be given in the presentation as we go forward. The policies that we passed. The government cloud policy was passed, and as you know, with cloud, when some people say that we discourage government being on cloud, we think it's a feature and government need to have a presence on cloud. But to do that, we need to have a policy to see how do we feature on the cloud. It's going to be private cloud or it's a public cloud. If it's a public cloud, how do we, or what data do we put there? So the cloud policy sets that. And introducing the cloud policy, that helps us to also get some savings from government, like the Ministry of Justice in the window. When we started hosting it at our own government frame, we are saving $6 million yearly on that because we used to pay for that to be hosted on the cloud. And we're working with the Ministry of Health also to host their data, which is already costing $14.4 million. So this is also going to be a yearly saving by government with that. The National Cybersecurity Policy, and as we already mentioned, is the group of the pillars, the 5 pillars, that's already mentioned by the Honorable Minister. And if we aim to encourage people to use cyberspace, to be online, to do their processes, to do transactions online. We need to create that resilience and stability of our system and the trust in the system. This is why we have these national cybersecurity policy in place, and also to ensure the critical information infrastructure of the Gambia is also protected. The next is the National Digital Addressing Policy. The National Digital Addressing Policy, addresses our challenges in the Gambia, and we've been working very hard. I think Banjul was very good when it comes to state naming addresses, but when it comes to the Carnifing, when it's the West Coast, it's hardly to get state names. But we've seen improvements thanks to the efforts being done by the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. And we've done the Google Plus addressing for Banjul, the Carnifing municipality, and we are also now in the West Coast region where we did about the whole of Commonwealth as we speak now. And this is to provide accurate addressing. Security and emergency services will have easy way of navigating, with our communities. But now when you have, let's say, God forbid, fire outbreak, maybe I'll come to, I don't want to use, maybe I will speak in Mandinka, 100 was speaking in Wolof, that when it comes to fire outbreak, if you call the fire service in Ekiti, you start explaining but now, addressing about Sonia, they facilitate e-commerce, that is transactions, and increase tax revenue for the government. Government email policy. This is one area also we try to implement. We were doing emails since the establishment of the ministry, but to sustain it was a challenge. And sustainability, one is not just financial resources, also is the attitude also in making use of this email. And this is why we came with a policy. And that policy is to make sure government officials use their emails for government communication. And we've created 303,000 email accounts for government employees. And then there's need for standardization of communication through this platform, and government data protection and traceability will be needed. We are working together with the Ministry of Public Service to ensure all government ministries, department, agencies are really fully utilizing this system. The National Fiber Protection Policy. I know most people get frustrated when the internet goes down, even the operators, the GSM operators, the ISPs, will be calling or sending emails to me and the Honorable Minister complaining when the fiber is down. And there were numerous cuts recently because of the roadworks that are ongoing in the country. And what we did at the ministry is to get the fiber policy in place, to see how we go about the whole process, but at the same time, to see how we penalize for entities that are not given due regard, in the protection of the fiber. And on average, we have 60 cases reported, and there is an estimated savings of 30 million when we started implementing this policy. And we've been having meetings with all stakeholders, the contractors, the GSM operators, Gamtel, and other stakeholders, so that we all work together in implementing and avoiding these fiber cuts. But here, I want to also speak in Mandinka again, where I also work. Because some of the cuts are also done up-country, which are done by farmers and other users. Fiber, when you fiber work, I want to communication of the infrastructure. Remember that Banjul kada ako kasi. Para nga niya po, doon ko mesiyari yung bako kayo wating kono. Kung turjawal na beke kaya na internet yung gusto ko kolea. So wakamala, fiber conference o pasel yung mga kola, mayroon ko senelal, wala tingkasinlal, wala ka kung yung gobe kalamutan may katulog. Ni wedding ko sinna, ifutata kung kola lega, ika ribon so na kapono so doon. Ni ifutata wala isalo ko fene benin ko. Bangun kana kaya jibe bune deliva continue. Ni continue tara ya ku so pat na len bangko be na fola communication to kajo ko yo. So when I think policy in the different market, and your next, we have the strategies that were adopted. And that is the government cloud strategy. I explained about the cloud, but we need to set the governance and the procurement, how we procure government cloud services are all detailed in the cloud strategy. Government open data strategy. When we say open data, is that we want a data that we can access, use, and share without restriction. But to do that also, we have the guidelines on how we do that access, that sharing, and usage. And the government is promoting open data, so some of the data that is available that every people need to know and integrate with the right rights to be able to access that. So we are developing a data ecosystem and an open technology stack for that matter. National cybersecurity strategy, we explained about cybersecurity for safe and protected systems and assets online, and coordination and effective governance of our cybersecurity landscape. As already been mentioned, we created a directorate of cybersecurity, and the directorate was introduced here already. We are working closely with civil society, private sector, and other ICT players, so that we all work together hand in glove to ensure that we have a safe, secure, and trusted cyber space in the Gambia. Government cloud implementation strategy. We have the strategy and the implementation plan separated because we want a focused approach to whatever we do, so that the delivery is seamless and on the spot. And this roadmap is also again shared with all stakeholders, and we working closely to ensure its implementation. The Digital Economy Master Plan. Now, as the Honorable Minister was saying when he came with a white piece of paper, where do I go? So this plan says where do we go from 2023 to 2033. So the Digital Economy Master Plan is to ensure there is a digital public infrastructure development and a digital transformation. How do we go about it? So, government for digital economy master plan. Plan on the alcohol. All about Candila Nenta Menkela, Kabo, in Samola, that Sanitan Nyatola. So I wait until the Menkela, like a book that the digital economy and keep silent base and Fanjakon. So we work in Medalgo, planning for the cabinet they approved last December. And this year, inshallah, the continue like implement. The regulations and bills that were adopted. The IMI regulation, I think Honorable Minister already alluded to it, gave you the detail, is for the device authentication and security. And it's going to be also a revenue source, as he explained with the bill of lading, where at least now when you register these phones, you know exactly how many phones came to the country and you know what revenue is associated with those phones. But also to ensure security and safety in the use of phones. When there is theft, also with easy traceability of the phone by the security forces. This is why we want to put this in place. You know, we know that now there's a lot of theft with mobile phones and other ICT devices. But this will help, you know, combat that and to ensure we can easily find those devices when they are stolen. Network free roaming, CIT removal. I think we mentioned about when we got cabinet approval for the regulations to remove this free roaming, but there was a stumbling block. There was a surcharge that we used to place on our calls in relation to roaming. So which other countries wanted us to remove, you know, before we can implement this network free roaming with them, and we took that to cabinet and we happened to get cabinet approval to remove that surcharge. So this is why now we are implementing the ECOWAS free roaming with Senegal and Ghana. We are starting with, you know, so that when you travel to those countries, you don't have to change your SIM. You can pay what you are paying in Gambia to be able to communicate within the sub-region. So it will help with tariff harmonization, reduction of cost, and support regional integration of the ECOWAS sub-region. The revenue assurance regulations were also put in place to improve revenue collection, minimize revenue leakages, increase profit margins for telcos, and boost economic growth. We believe together in the revenue assurance measurement, together we can combat some of the fraudulent activity that takes place in telecommunication, and that would transform into revenue boost for the operators and also eventually tax revenue for government. The cybercrime bill also have been passed through cabinet. It's now as a National Assembly. We expected it to be enacted within this quarter, the next sitting of the National Assembly. So we are hopeful that it will be enacted, and so that it can help in combating cybercrime. Because right now we don't have adequate laws to really prosecute for certain crimes that are in cyberspace. So this bill is going to help when it's enacted to really help provide those provisions that we can rely on to deter, some of these crimes. International cooperation, through with other partners and electronic evidence provision even in our courts. This bill will be able to, provide advanced acting. The AU Malabo Convention. This convention, since it was signed in around 2010, 2010 or 2022, yeah, it was signed, but the convention was in since 2009, 2010. Gambia only started signed in 2022, thanks to the effort of the Honorable Minister. It was explained to me how I was working with the Excellency General Jan in Ethiopia to ensure that this thing is signed. And while he was in Nigeria, trying to get these documents sent through all kind of means to make sure it's signed, so that we in 2022 we get it signed, and we are also part of this. This is also going through cabinet. It's waiting for ratification the National Assembly. So hopefully this year we also get it ratified. But now it's signed, and we really joined the platform. It helps in regional harmonization in strengthening cybersecurity and cybercrime, and capacity building and mutual assistance. Now the submarine cable. I think the MC mentioned about the legacy, to mention about this. I know I'm very humble about some of these achievements. Even when we tried to do the presentation, we were just dry run. People felt that I should bring that out. But I mean, whatever work I do is for the country. That's what I'm paid for. So there's no need to be mentioning. That's who I am. There's no need to be mentioning it and all that. But I mean, yes, I'm privileged to be part of this first submarine cable. And I work with a diligent team from Gamtel to really deliver this project in the Gambia in 2012. It was not an easy task. It was very challenging. Very challenging in the sense, I would say today that I haven't seen a country where you want to develop something, you have your own people fighting against it. Your own people fighting against it. There was an instance where people fought not to even have this cable in the country. But they still believe that we should be going through Senegal. And because there's enough capacity there, Gambia doesn't need this cable. And now we are talking about a second. We don't need one, now we're talking about a second cable. And I remember it got to a point, some even brought an alternative company that was supposed to be, who refused Gambia to be part of it. And we got to a point that then Mogul Saban was the director of budget. I had to call him. We worked it out together that he made a commitment payment on behalf of Gambia so that we cannot go out of this. And with that 1.5 million that we paid, and we have to use it to say, look, if we want to leave this, we're going to miss this, we're going to lose this money, and I don't think we can justify that to the Gambian people. And this is how we stayed on this cable. And again, after that, there was still a fight. And I would say today that they nearly got the idea out of it. I had to write a letter personally He said, look, now forget about, I'm not part of the ministry, I'm a citizen of this country, and had to write specific to the president as a citizen. And he gave a directive that we must get the cable. That's how we get it. So this is just to say how people fight against progress in our country. But with resilience, dedication, and persistence, we can deliver. And I think this is what the Honorable Minister will instill. Here we have the same common spirit, and I believe together we can deliver the second summer thing for the Gambia. And the bandwidth, if you look at it, is what 6 ST1s we had. We're just going through Senegal. That propelled to 9,300 megabytes. That is 62 STM1s when we first got the cable in, the submarine cable. And then it was upgraded and upgraded until now it is 660 gigabytes of capacity, in the country that we have available in the country. And now we're talking about the second submarine cable, where we are working with ECOWAS to get the American Cameron cable in place. And we are also thinking of a third one. We did not mention it, but not to raise the hopes high, let's get the second delivered before we the third one. And this will also give us a capacity of up to 12 terabytes per second. And thank Honorable Minister for really also having this vision to deliver this second submarine cable. And he was telling me, and Unity is going to be part of another legacy. And but I think I understand them. I think I want them also to make that legacy. It doesn't have to be. Thank you. The water program. So we've already introduced the project coordinator, Telecommunication, and this is a $50 million project. And if you may recall, the H was delivered through Awasi. So the difference here is the D and the C. It was a regional project. So here the D is digital now, the C was communication. All right, so now we're talking about digital now because we want to transform, to online services, and delivery. So this 50 million, the same is bringing us a second submarine cable, and we have 25 million lined up for this, and work is in progress, as Honorable Minister already made about the transaction advisor that is in place to ensure this is delivered. And with Mr. Lowe and his team, we are really confident that we will quickly deliver this one as a second submarine cable, and also other elements of support to transform the Gambia into a digital economy. The functions of the ICT agency, I think there was already a presentation by Professor Abdul Karim Diallo, who is the DG of the DICTA. But the functions of the ICT agency is to drive the digital economy, maximize ICT usage and rationalization, advance research and development, boost competitiveness, enhance government services, facilitate innovation and local ICT development, ensure quality and promote ICT standardization, and to accelerate transition to e-government. And we are working diligently with the board and the DG and his team, which is still recruiting, and hopefully to 2024, we'll be able to deliver more with their support and collaboration. The government 4G LTE network we have in place. This is to provide broadband to MDAs and remote work for senior government officials. We had 4 cell sites before. We have increased it to 8. That is in Banjul, Serekunda, Exchange, Aguko, Kotu, Yundum, Brusubi, Brikama, and Pasek. And the yearly estimated savings is $22.8 million in 2023, when we connected most of the government ministries with access to the internet. The integrated financial management system. We talk about the collaborations we are having with other countries, the bilateral relations. This is an output of one with Rwanda, where we're working with the Rwanda team to ensure that we replicate the IFMI system they have. Rwanda came and did a study tour in the Gambia, and they did the IFMI system. But because they learned from us, they did it better now. We want to go back also and see the difference they made so that we also add value to ours and we replicate the same thing. And this is through a South-South cooperation. and we are very thankful for the bilateral agreement that was signed by the Honourable Minister and his counterpart in Rwanda, and they've been really helpful in us pushing this, working together with the Accountant General Department and the Minister of Finance to ensure that we domesticate the Rwanda system in the Gambia too. The international cooperation agreements we have agreements signed with Huawei China to create a center of excellence for capacity development in technology and collaboration also in technology development. And in Mauritius, we have signed also a cooperation agreement in satellite space program and digital innovation. And for the e-government Academy of Estonia, they did our digital master plan, the digital addressing policy, and others. We have a technical cooperation on digital government and also on e-cabinet. The Federal Minister of Nigeria, the Communication and Innovation of Nigeria, collaboration on digital transformation. The Minister of ICT of Rwanda, I've already mentioned the information cooperation, and Starlink USA to provide satellite internet services in the country. So these are the initiatives we have. ITU with technical assistance on spectrum assessment and policy, bilateral with the Minister of IT of Saudi Arabia, accession to the Smart Africa Alliance, and the CSAT conformity assessment, bilateral with EU Worldwide Group, the CEO multilateral projects, bilateral support from the GFCE, UN eGov University on digital governance, bilateral with the Bangladesh Ministry of ICT, which resulted in the MyGov platform we work for the e-government, and the bilateral with Estonia on the development of the e-cabinet for the government of the Gambia. We also have an agreement signed with PCH to collaborate on the .gmv delegation and transfer. The travel of the ministry. So you can see we have a lot of collaborations and partnerships that we signed, and this is why we've been traveling a lot, because as you know, as a country, now we have a connected global world, and we need to cooperate, we need to learn from each other, we need to be part of conferences, we need to be part of meetings where we can also put our case to be able to get our share of the case. And as the Honourable Minister indicated, we don't have the budget in the country to do most of our projects. So we get them from donors, from our bilateral partners. And this is why we have to reach out to them to be able to have discussions with them to see how we can get the necessary support to implement some of these projects. So some of these achievements we are mentioning here were as a result of these travels we did. Which 40% was government funded, 53% externally funded, and 7% partially funded. Our budget, the monthly budget was approved for $104 million, but by the end of the year, we only got $41 million allocated. So as you can see, 39% of our budget, only 39% of our budget was allocated. This is also a challenge for us, because some of the activities we want to deliver, we will able to deliver because we don't have the resources to do so. So we really want to call on the government, the Ministry of Finance, to see how they can really help in augmenting this allocation level for us so that we'll be able to deliver something. For example, the digital addressing that we just did common off in the West Coast, we could have gone beyond that if we had got the necessary funds to implement. And so this is another challenge we face. So that's the end of my presentation, and thank you for your time. So I have the pleasure to introduce the Director of E-Government, Mr. Lalu. Thank you.
ku yodd sa xët te quality Jasna ñoo yor seen cumbukaay tur day uyu borom Jasna pire soo ko bëggee fii si biir Gambia bi dawal foofu sa quality Jasna your number one stop shop ana sama jigéen ñi dama bëgg ngeen jox ma seen nopp garme yi ndaxte quality Jasna amal nañ leen ay til yu toj daala poos abaaya yu yiiw waaye it amal nañ leen ay boreda yu rafet boreda yoo xam ne pour góor ñi la ak pour jigéen ñi amal nañ leen body scrub yi nga xam ne nii dafay defar seen yaram bam nice waaye it fàttewuñ fa diw yi ana sama jeeg yu pare yi quality Jasna amal nañ leen fa andi cuuraay yu neex house spray ak bépp xeetu baax pour seen biir néeg dama ne atum ren jii ku sa jëkkër mere ku ne yow la neex ndaxte quality Jasna ñëw na si dëkk bi pour defar sëy yi make-up artist yi bàyyi leen gannaaw ñu ngi leen fa amal ay make-up product yu quality waxu leen léegi nii foofa sa Westfield jàkkaarloog monument bi wala nga jokkoo quality Jasna si 250 01 24 ak quality Jasna taaral sa bopp taaral sa néeg waaye it dëggal sa alaaji aas